Hi everyone, this is the pre-lecture for the supply part of demand and supply. Now last lesson we introduced you to this diagram, the demand and supply diagram. So just to recap, on the y-axis it measures the price, okay, and on the x-axis it measures the quantity. So this demand and supply diagram is meant to look at the relationship between the price and the quantity in terms of consumer buying, demand curve, and suppliers selling, which is a supply curve. Okay, so in this part we're going to look at the supply curve. Now, the law of supply is a bit different from the law of demand. Okay, now this is where we really need to go into how the supplier or the seller thinks. Okay, so imagine you are a businessman selling things. Now, as a seller, you are setting up your business to make some kind of profits for yourself. Okay, so the tendency is we are attracted by making profits. Okay, nothing wrong with that, but this is how the logic goes. Okay, so the supplier will be willing to sell more if the market price is high. Okay, that way you can kind of like earn more. Huh? Now, if the price is low, the sellers are not so interested to sell. Okay, that is the law of supply that we will be using. Now, like the law of demand, this is not the only law of supply there is. Okay, when you go to higher levels, you learn different laws that explain different kind of behavior. But like what we mentioned for the law of demand, this is the main one that we'll be using. Okay, that we'll be sticking to. All right, so try to get accustomed to it. All right, so imagine you're a seller. All right, you start a business to make profits. So your logic is when the price is high, you want to sell more. All right, when the price is low, you are not so interested. You sell lesser. Okay. Now, therefore, when we plot the points on the diagram, you can see this point occurring here. Okay, when the price is high, I feel like selling high quantity. Okay, when the price is low here, okay, the price is very low, very close to zero, okay, very low, I don't feel like selling so much, so the quantity is low. All right, we throw in two more points. Okay, you can see that the demand curve, it forms together into a kind of line. All right, let's connect the dots. All right, let's connect the points. You have this line, okay, going through all those points, and you see that you have your supply curve, okay, that explains the behavior of sellers. All right, so remember a law of supply. The price is low, my quantity is also low. All right, so the quantity supply is low. All right, when the price is high, quantity supply is high. Okay, so you have this line joining through that can be used to describe the behavior of sellers. Now, so when we draw an upward sloping curve, now this is called an upward sloping curve. From left to right is curving upwards. We call this an upward sloping curve. An upward sloping curve gives us a direct relationship between the price and the quantity. Okay, we explained earlier this because of the law of supply. Higher price, I sell more. Lower price, I want to sell less. Okay, so this is our supply curve. Now, last lesson we mentioned, how does seller behave in the market? Going by the law of supply, we already got a rough understanding. What caused the seller to sell more or less at the ongoing market price? Now, after doing demand, you would know that this question is asking you on what caused the supply curve to shift. Okay, this is something that you must pay attention in the lecture and work it through in the tutorial. We also mentioned that when we study econs, we are studying human behavior. Okay, so if you want to understand how does it feel like to be a seller, do you fit into this law of supply? Okay, you can set up a store on CCN Day to experience that for yourself. Okay, next lesson we'll be putting demand and supply curve together. All right, that will be more interesting. Okay, so see you next lesson.